Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. The direct purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews. It's in the description below. Email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing something truly new, my first review of the latest Omega Seamaster Diver 300-meter chronograph launched in 2019. This watch is 44 millimeters in diameter by 17.3 millimeters thick by 52.5 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. So this is a full-sized watch, and I would argue that you're getting more technologically here than you get with a similarly sized and similarly stanced Royal Oak Offshore. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, this Royal Oak Offshore Killer is substantial. It doesn't feel as thick as it is, I'll be honest. It feels more like a 15 millimeter thick watch. It's not terribly broad, but I probably wouldn't wear it on a wrist smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. And while it's not going to fit underneath the tightest of dress sleeves, because of the conical profile of the bezel, it should slide underneath just about any jacket cuff. Now the watch is made of stainless steel and yellow gold. We're going to take a quick look at the hardware and the software and then talk about those components. The strap debuted on last year's standard Diver 300 meter, that is 2018's, I should say, because this may be viewed long in the future. There are striations to add some definition on the flanks as well as the center. There is satin finish as well as a sort of media blasted texture in between the satin finished strakes. On the underside, you have the much loved Omega wave, which echoes the arabesque on the movement as well as the waves of the dial. And then you have a simple polished and satin finished steel pin buckle for quick adjustments. Nicely made. Even the strap minders have been branded. The timepiece features the standard satin midcase and polished expanding bevels that we've seen on Seamasters and Speedmasters since at least the early 60s. You can see the lyre style lugs are present and correct. They flare outboard and they actually flare and tilt inboard both. Interesting things going on here. This is not a set of screw down crowns. You can actually activate the crown without any need to screw the shoulders in or out. They're principally as shear guards to add shouldered strength. The pushers themselves, as you can see, are in blue ceramic for scratch resistance, and then we have a screw down crown. The watch is 300 meters water resistant, and as you can see, the Helium escape valve, which was new for 2018, has an conical profile. It's a little bit like a Reese's cup now, and the new innovation is that you can open it while you're still underwater, ascending from your saturation dive. So if you think helium might be inside your watch from your dive, you open up the Helium escape valve. Even if you're underwater, it now works underwater, and you can release the internal pressure, so 2 to 3 bar greater than the exterior, and it opens the internal part of the valve to vent and avoid blowing out the seals in your crystal. We have a rotating bezel. That is one of the best I've felt on a Diver 300 meter in the now 27 years since this model debuted, this original design in 1993. Also important to note, the bezel insert is made of ceramic with gold inlays that are permabonded. They call it Ceragold. You have that gold laid into the ceramic, which is scratch resistant, so that the two can never part. You also line up that bezel pearl with the skeleton style hand, sometimes known as the James Bond hand, as this is the design commonly associated with Pierce Brosnan. But you have that 0 to 60 minute timing scale that you can use to employ the bezel to time something concurrent with the chronograph. And since the current chronograph register only reads up to 30 minutes, the bezel actually gives you some extra functionality. The dial is all zirconium oxide or blue ceramic, and you can see the chemical formula below the hands. Gloss on its top. It's been laser ablated to create the wave pattern that first debuted in 1993 on the Diver 300 meter, but was absent from 2012 to 2017. You'll also note that the hands are golden, as are the applique indices, and there's a mono counter over at 3 o'clock that features chronograph hours as well as minutes. Note the dished register. With the mono counters, you actually have a symmetrical profile, bilateral symmetry about the dial, date with a matching blue date disc down at 6 o'clock. The date disc is the same color as the dial, so it's minimally obtrusive, and you ask why a ceramic dial? To avoid scratching, scuffing, oxidation, or tarnish, all the advantages of enamel without the fragility and cost of enamel. Now, because this watch is powered by the premium caliber 9900, it's actually equipped more similarly to the caliber 8900 models than the standard Diver 300 meter and its 8800 movement. To wit, the watch features the time zone adjustment feature that you do not get on the standard Diver 300 meter caliber 8800. You still have the pull it out and stop the seconds hacking seconds function, and another feature that you will not find on the standard Diver 300 meter is the 60-hour power reserve and the twin mainspring barrels. The 2-barrel movement is Omega's premium automatic. The 2 barrels give you the 5 extra hours of reserve, but they also give you more even torque release so that the watch is less likely to lose big fistfuls of amplitude at the balance after 24 or 48 hours. You'll see that problem on single barrel movements. Not here. Full balance bridge and a free-sprung index for shock resistance, and you can see there is a silicone hairspring for anti-magnetism. The watch effectively amagnetic, a coaxial escapement as invented by George Daniels, less parasitic losses, greater precision, reduced maintenance requirements. It is the most exotic escapement you can buy for under $50,000 in my opinion. You will also see that the watch includes a column wheel underneath the skeletonized portion of the bridge and a vertical clutch system. So the column wheel makes it crisp. The vertical clutch ensures that there's no stagger or jump when you start the chronograph seconds hand. Moreover, because of the vertical clutch, you can just leave it running full time, so you have your hours, minutes, and seconds at center. Ignore the chronograph registers. You can leave a vertical clutch chronograph running full time. All of this beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is sort of a unique coaxial specific beat rate. It's not unheard of in the industry, but it's most common on these Omega coaxes. Finally, the watch is a master chronometer, which means it meets the COSC 3159 standards, but it's adjusted in 6 positions instead of 5 as a fully cased watch instead of a bare movement, and it also includes, in addition to the chronometry standards, power reserve, winding efficiency, water resistance, and anti-magnetism. Created in conjunction with the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, Master Chronometer, or the METAS chronometer standard, is the test of the full watch in every dynamic regard. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com to take the plunge with the latest Seamaster Diver 300 meter chronograph. And we're back with the Seamaster Diver 300 meter. Note how extensively the dial is loomed, and also the fact that the minute hand and the bezel pearl are green rather than blue, so you can easily read those against one another while diving.